GHD is a consulting company that focuses on the engineering, environmental, architecture, and construction services. This company provides a wide range of services to both private and public sectors, focusing specifically on water, energy and resources, environment, property and buildings, and transportation sectors. GHD has been successful through their global markets, assisting third world countries such as the Philippines and other countries such as the UK, America, New Zealand, Canada, Dubai, and many more. GHD is a company focused on quality, integrity, and providing excellent customer service for their clients, in which they're focused on keeping their people, projects, and communities safe. They are a company largely focused on the environment and sustainability, in which they believe are key assets that will strengthen their business.
Our presentation will be focused on the overall strategy of GHD as a business, ideally understanding their source of competitive advantage along with their international strategy, and through this we'll be understanding their economic and industry characteristics. Furthermore, we will understand GHD's strengths and weaknesses through a SWOT analysis, and we'll understand why GHD is such a successful company. The way in which an industry is shaped and moulded is driven through their economic, technical, and industrial characteristics that determine their competition, profitability, and the competitive strategy that they have. GHD is a company that demonstrates quality, integrity by focusing on their clients' needs, staff morale, and productivity, whilst acknowledging the economic, social, and sustainable demands of each sector that they have. An industry is defined as a group of companies supplying the same or close substitute products and services that ultimately satisfy the customer's needs. Rees believes that the industry characteristics such as labour productivity, market, concentration, and innovation, as well as specific features of the firm such as size, age, and vision, are key determinants in the company's success. We then have Porter, who concentrates on this more clearly, dividing into 5 competitive forces of the external environment that shapes the challenges an industry may face and their business strategy of competition.
Threat of new entrants is a context of new and existing organisations that may enter the market who are able to offer duplicate products or services to compete with what already exists. With the entrance of new companies into an industry could result in an extra capacity. This may lead to price reduction in order to compete against rivals and ultimately reduce profit. However, this depends on the entry barriers, economies of scale, brand image and identity, switching costs, and level of capital requirements as to whether new entrants will enter the market. As a result, strategy is key as it will differentiate between key rivals. GHD is a successful company that has a competitive advantage, offers differentiation from other power companies, and they do this by having a foot in multiple industries in multiple countries. Rivalry amongst existing competitors consists of the competition of rivals in the same or similar industry. GHD is a leading company in the professional services industry, but their key success has been the fact that they are in private hands by the chief executive Ian Shepherd. A rival company, SKM, merged with the New York-listed Jacobs Engineering in the US, whilst GHD believes that being a private company, they are able to further their success, profit, and sustainability. This strategy and the fact that GHD is owned by their employees has created GHD to be so successful. They focused on the employees who make up the business and ultimately increase their success amongst competing companies by doing this. Bargaining power of suppliers are known as those firms or individuals who provide the materials, information, and knowledge that allow firms to produce or supply its products or services. As GHD is part of the construction industry, suppliers play a large part in this industry. Stroh highlights the stronger the supplier, the more difficult it is for the industry to make a profit. GHD's bargaining power of suppliers would depend on the market sector and the change in the economy alongside technological advances and the location. Bargaining power of buyers is dictated by the company's dependence of specific target buyers and whether they are in a position to direct price and service specifications. For GHD, being a consulting firm in 4 separate services allows for the stability of new and various buyers and clients. Selling these services to clients is more complex and varied than selling consumer goods. This is dependent on the client and on what service is being provided. GHD has 3 objectives: client, people, and performance. This interrelates in their industry in providing the service needed and to a standard that will dictate the buyers and the prices. The demand of this type of industry is also very uncertain and unpredictable due to fluctuations in the economic market and the new investments clients have. Threat of substitute products or services is a key factor for the future. Stroh suggests that in the consulting industry there may be a possibility that large firms may combine the process of different sectors and industries. Through the service substitution, they would be able to create design and build. It would limit one or the other process. In the case of GHD, who focuses on engineering, architecture, construction, and the environment, the combination of engineering and construction could be combined and thus limiting the need for 2 separate sectors. This could have a drastic negative impact for GHD. Characteristics of the external environment are largely based on the characteristics of the industry. This is a determining factors into a firm's behaviour, productivity, and ultimately their performance. GHD represents this through their strategy of having a business focus on their employees and focus on the use of globalization and expansion. They demonstrate a company that has goals and ambitions, and through the innovation and the decades, their management strategies have been able to improve over the past 90 years.
This figure shows that GHD's operations are mainly concentrated in US and Australia, thus the economies of these two nations should affect GHD for most. Interestingly, both of these countries show similar economic characteristics such as: firstly, they both have relatively stable economic growth rates between 1 to 3%. However, US's growth rate fluctuates a little bit more than Australia's, and its growth rate is expected to slightly decline recently. This indicates that GHD should be wary of potential reduce in US's customer expenditures, which may increase competitive pressures within the nation's industry, and in worst case, causing potential price war. Secondly, both Australia and US have low interest rates of 1 to 1.5%, which suggests that GHD's operation within these countries might be able to reduce its cost of capital due to the ability to raise funds and invest in new assets. Furthermore, lower interest rates indicate that there are potentially more customers for GHD, since lower cost of capital stimulates more investments, and its effect should even be more apparent to GHD due to the nature of its product that is project-oriented and thereby require larger amount of investment. Thirdly, although both nations exhibit moderately low level of inflation rate in worldwide context, both of them are currently experiencing their highest rate for the past several years, and they are expected to continue increasing moderately in the near future. Australia's inflation rate is caused by the faster increase in prices of food and housing that offset the drop in the cost of transportation, whilst US's inflation rate is boosted by a rise in the gasoline price. High inflation will reduce economic growth, increase interest rate, and cause volatile currency movements. Therefore, GHD should be aware that this kind of unstable economy often leads to uncertainties, which may result in less willing investors.
So now we will look at a SWOT analysis. So what is a SWOT? Well, a SWOT looks at our internal strengths and weaknesses and the external threats and opportunities. If we identify these, we can then build strategies which look at building the strengths, removing the weaknesses, exploiting our opportunities, and minimizing our threats. I'll now go on to speak about the SWOT analysis we perform for GHD.
When looking at the strengths, GHD has shown a 60% growth since the 1990s. In 2016, their gross revenue grew to $1.68 billion for the year. They also have an 88% retention rate, where the company have created numerous strategies and programs that have kept their staff engaged and at the company. Safety is also another core value of GHD, where they're committed to making sure their employees and clients go home safely. They've had a 25% improvement in safety performance over the last year. Good relationships with their people is also another strength. They do this firstly through their innovation program, a program which looks at delivering new ideas that will be used for improvement for their internal processes. It allows people to submit their ideas, which then get appointed forward if the company agrees they add value. Since the start of this program, more than 1,700 ideas and over 6,000 collaborations have been presented. Also through personal development of their workers, shows good relationships. 2009 Victorian Engineering Excellence Award was awarded to GHD for this contribution. They also allow knowledge and skills to be transferred through a mentoring program which allows employees who are nearing the end of their careers to go around the business and coach staff on projects and guide them on problems. This is where leadership talent is established. Furthermore, training and leadership is also another important strength of GHD, where this approach is based on business school models that allows for practical training, leadership, and personal development. Lastly, they are also a leader in waste management. and they are known for their emergency response capabilities.
So one of the weaknesses of GHD is the alleged breach of contract negligence when the seawall of the WA mine collapsed. It was said by the plaintiff's lawyers that GHD was under the responsibility for the maintenance, the inspection, and the modification of the seawall when it did collapse. This led GHD to suffer many losses and damage in terms of the expenses, but also their reputation as a business, and therefore that's why we see this as a negative. In terms of other negatives, GHD is a business that is one of the world's leading engineer companies, so we found it pretty hard to find specific weaknesses, and therefore they are not stated.
When looking at the opportunities, GHD has recently put more emphasis on the commitment to employing Indigenous and also recognises employing females in leadership positions. This will open up many opportunities for talent attraction. Global market reach. GHD has the ability to expand even more on their global markets, with their business already located in 135 plus countries and employing over 8,500 people. Increasing demand for energy efficiency and sustainable development, where GHD must capitalise and use their resources to balance this economic and sustainable demand. New technologies. This is another opportunity via the use of virtual reality technologies, which can be used for training, emergency response, maintenance, and bringing data into the field to investigate real-world scenarios. This can have an impact on the way GHD and other companies can be efficient with their operations and performance. And these opportunities are just some ways GHD can exploit. So some of the threats at GHD include the competitiveness of the market. The market remains a competitive market, however, because GHD is one of the world's leading engineering companies, they do have the ability to remain a market leader if they minimise this threat. Infrastructure developments is an ongoing challenge, and today's society where inefficient infrastructure markets lead to inefficient costs for businesses and consumer businesses, GHD should be mindful of this threat. And lastly, lower commodity and energy prices. Excess supply of energy commodities combined with the low demand will most likely keep the prices of these energy commodities low, and it is uncertain what will happen in the future. Therefore, GHD should adjust to this threat. That concludes our SWOT analysis.
I'm going to talk about the international strategy of GHD. First, let us find out what international strategy means. According to Yip, international strategy can be explained as a global plan of a company to gain global expansion and to achieve their desired goals and objectives. In other words, to become globalized. Companies need expanding their market participants and develop an integrated worldwide strategy. So, what is GHD's international strategy?
This core strategy aligns the knowledge, skills, and experience of their employees with innovative practices and technical capabilities. They internationalize their core strategy by providing a quality service for their customers with the use of client service-led. GHD uses transnational strategy by operating in global scale with customized products to match with countries that they are operating. Transnational involves operating in different world markets, designing responsive organizational structures and establishing value-added activities. GHD engages in understanding target markets, challenges, and drivers, partnering with people and getting to know them, working to exceed customers' needs and expectations, and providing innovative value. To promote their international strategy, GHD not only customize their products to match with their clients in different parts of the world, they also connect with the local community of those countries to maintain a strong branding, engage in projects such as supporting Indigenous people in Australia, protecting biodiversity in New Zealand, and partnering with EWB around the globe can be given as some examples for GHD's contribution towards communities of different countries that they are operating. Hence, GHD has localized their services by understanding the cultural differences of target markets.
As explained by Marley, no matter how complex or specialized an international strategy, they all contains advantages and drawbacks. Foremost advantage of an international strategy is the ability to access a large proportion of customers, which lead to the ultimate goal of earning above average returns. However, changes in external environment such as political uncertainty, competitors, tariff and non-tariff barriers, and higher cost of investment on technology act as a drawback which prevent companies from advantaging international strategy. Low growth in economic environment around the world, rapid changes in commodity prices, and political changes have made the last couple of years
challenging for GHD. As a response to these challenges, GHD has to strengthen the employee skills to make them capable to face those market changes by continuous investment in training and development of employees through GHD Business School and recruitment and training of graduates. So I'll be talking about competitive advantage, and this occurs when a firm implements a strategy that creates superior value for customers and that its competitors are unable to duplicate or find too costly to imitate. This is vital for a firm to have competitive advantage in order to earn above average returns. Sustainable competitive advantage of a firm must consist of resources that are valuable, rare, inimitable, and non-substitutable in order for a firm to achieve greater profitability and performance. So the resource-based view model focuses on how firms acquire and develop different resources and capabilities to achieve superior performance. Resources could be physical, human, or organizational capital. It could be tangible or intangible, for example, capital equipment, skills of individual employees, patent, finances, and talented managers. So GHD emphasizes on firm-specific human capital as a sustainable source of competitive advantage. Lawler asserts that there should be minimal distance between managers and employees in order to form a top-performance organization. They implemented Innovation Zone, the internal online portal that helps reduce distance between managers and employees by encouraging employees to capture and deliver different ideas within the organization. It's important for managers to gather information and opinions from talents within the organization. So effective communication and shared leadership can also be seen through GHD's innovation program. So employees can communicate and contribute ideas on how to improve the internal processes of the firm, as well as discuss and vote on others' ideas and opinions through the use of other GHD online innovation programs such as Pivot and Roundtable. Committee members can also provide honest and timely feedback on employees' ideas and comments. They have also implemented training programs. GHD uses a business school model consisting of technical training, management, and leadership, as well as personal development. This helps form economies of scale and consistency throughout business units. So firms may be able to earn competitive advantages by constructing firm-specific human capital through training. So GHD made firm-specific programs tailored and developed by and for their employees to improve on organizational goals as well as their own. Training enhances the speed at which employees learn their duties, thereby improving their productivity. With greater knowledge in their role, employees can make meaningful contributions with minimal time consumption. Employees are highly valued when they are given self-development opportunities. This increases employee motivation and job satisfaction, creates a positive impact in the workplace, which leads to loyal and hardworking employees. This also creates a sense of responsibility. So GHD staff shareholder scheme for staff to learn non-job specific skills. They can even participate and contribute in philanthropic causes like Register of Engineers for Disaster Relief, Engineers Without Borders, or MSABI. They've also implemented peer assist programs. So Lawler further affirms that leaders in the organization or senior level employees should participate in leadership development programs for an organization to maintain their competitive advantage. Senior executives could participate in programs by sharing their skill sets and their knowledge as a form of commitment to the organization. So senior management support is vital for future organizational success as they act as role models and active teachers for junior staff. GHD initiated a mentoring program for senior employees to transfer their knowledge based on experience and profession. So GHD values and encourages senior staff to contribute in coaching, leading, and giving advice as a form of commitment and motivation to continue on in the company. Senior employees are also given more benefits such as reduced office hours and longer annual leave to motivate them to stay in the company. Graduates are also encouraged to participate to further develop their leadership skills. So in conclusion, GHD's competitive advantage is through human capital.
As discussed in this presentation, GHD is a multinational company that successfully operates in several countries. The reason behind its success is the ability to identify and manage their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats effectively and efficiently in order to analyze the internal and external business environments. GHD's foremost competitive advantage is their skilled employees. Hence, they focus more on enhancing training and development of employees through a 100% employee ownership model, business school model, and peer assist program to make them capable to face market challenges. Furthermore, GHD uses transnational strategy as their international strategy to expand their markets into international boundaries, obtaining the benefits of a competitive advantage.